Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, we've got the panel tonight. We've got UFOs for you. It's going to be something to behold. So buckle up. Let's get it started. Los Angeles on the freeway, Ventura, Los Angeles. We're watching something in the skies. We're going to try and find out what is going on. This video was shot earlier this week, and we're going over with the panel, Brent Cousins, my brother, along with Paula Asteria and Dr. J, looking at the evidence. And right now we're looking at something broad daylight. What are we looking at, Brent?
Yeah, this one's coming in hot. We see something. It looks like a classic disc-like craft just hovering up there in the sky, and then we see this thing to the left, this small little escort, people might just say at the same time. We're looking at something that people see all the time, these kind of craft, but are we looking at something different? Could this be maybe an advertisement banner being pulled by some sort of Cessna? I'm not sure. The clarity of this is pretty good. We're seeing some detail on just the crispness of what you see on the craft. It's clear.
It's definitely, to me, looks like your standard saucer-shaped craft. It's pretty incredible. And, the location being in LA, it kind of brings to mind for me the Battle of Los Angeles and the whole incident that happened in LA. I mean, that happened in broad daylight over, hundreds of thousands of people, maybe more. I'm sure Dr. J knows a lot on that. But yeah, really cool footage.
Hey, Dr. J, you're looking at this stuff. You're familiar with Los Angeles. What's your thoughts? Is this some kind of advertisement banner?
I'm glad Brent said that. And honestly, at first, yeah, from a distance, you could say it's that. But I got a chance to see this on a 50-inch screen. I zoomed it in. And at first, I thought it's typical saucer shape. But actually, if you look closer at it, this thing has, corners. It looks more like an elongated pyramid. And if people are familiar with the Dr. Jonathan Reed footage they've seen on Third Phase of Moon, or even the Rendlesham that people described, it looks just like that. And to the left of it, I looked for every telltale sign of an airplane, a little Cessna, a tail, wings. It looks like it's a smaller type of maybe disc-shaped UFO or maybe a drone that basically is parallel to it. Maybe that part is the United States technology following this diamond-shaped craft. And like Apollo said, Battle of Los Angeles happened early in the morning, 2 in the morning. Very, very fantastic catch.
Absolutely. We're looking at more footage just in, and thanks for that, Dr. J. We want to get your opinion here shortly of something that was captured over a neighborhood. A backyard security cam captures something that looks like a luminescent light source just traversing across the neighborhood. It was picked up remotely by the camera itself. What I'm looking at is this maybe an airplane streaking across the sky, and the shutter rate is creating this illusion of a streak of light, Brent?
Good possibility, yes. People sent this to us. They wanted to analyze, and that's what we're doing. We're looking at this, and we're kind of dissecting what we're looking at. And we're seeing this kind of beam rod-like image craft move across the skies. You can see it actually go behind the trees and behind some of the chimneys on these homes as well. So it's off in the background. It's not some sort of bug in front of the screen creating this aspect. Again, could it be some sort of shutter speed? Again, capturing an airplane, commercial aircraft or something in the sky, creating the elongated feel of it. That's a possibility, but people are excited about these photos, so we're sharing it right now in Third Phase. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm not noticing any FFA lights when I'm looking at this, and I'm wondering if maybe it's a ball of light. We've kind of witnessed a phenomenon with this. A lot of videos come out with these sort of balls of light or plasma. So I'm wondering if maybe it has something to do with that. What are your thoughts, Dr. J?
What Brent said, the fact that maybe the shutter speed is changed and you're actually capturing something elongated when it's I thought about that too, but then I paid attention to the smoke coming over through one of the smokestacks, one of the roofs of the homes, and clearly the smoke is going at a reasonable speed as the thing is on by. Another reason why I don't think this is something like an airplane is it's extremely bright. It's going extremely fast. And look how low it is to the ground and how close to the homes it is. It's also traveling in front of the smoke. And this is the most interesting thing. I noticed it looks like it has fins on it. And the fin seems to change place. I have not seen footage like this since the 1990s when we all had a chance to talk to Jose Escamilla about the rods before he passed away.
Yeah, bless his soul. It's interesting. So, are you bringing up the possibility of biological, that we're looking at something that's alive?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. At first I was thinking this looks like a typical cigar-shaped craft, but as I started to pay attention to the fins, alternate shape, I started to think, is this something possibly living? I'm on the fence about whether it is or not, but I don't think we should take that possibility away. I think until more investigation is done, and hopefully the viewers of Third Phase of Moon will also throw in what they've seen and what they think this is. But I think it's at least a possibility this is something living, organic.
Yeah, it's crazy. We just watched it as it just zipped across in real time. We're slowing it down. So that was a footage of how fast this craft seems to cross in an extraordinary amount of speed. So again, what are we looking at here, guys? I want to get your opinions in this live premiere. And if you're enjoying the UFOs over this past month, we've been sharing a lot recently. Go check out the best of January 2024 on Third Phase of Moon YouTube. We have over 2.5 hours of UFO content, but right now we're sharing new footage. Take a look at this.
All right, we got a good close-up right here. This is something that we need to look at. We're seeing something up in the sky. It's, again, these cylindrical cigar-shaped craft that are seen, again, all around the world. Are we looking at the phenomenon, or are we looking at something mundane, maybe a blimp? But if you look at this, as we are all watching right now, this doesn't look like your typical Goodyear blimp. It's just not perfect, symmetrical. It almost has this kind of organic feel to it. It doesn't feel right as your typical craft would be up in the sky. It's just out of place.
Yeah, to me, it looks like, the standard Tic Tac cigar-shaped craft that everyone sees. And, I think it's really interesting when you look at these. Usually, they kind of have a metallic-y look around them, so that the sun will be sort of shining off them, and you can see the clouds reflected in them. And that's why it's, a lot of times, I think, hard for people to see. It's fantastic footage. So what are your thoughts on this one, Dr. J?
I'm glad you mentioned the cigar-shaped Impala. I couldn't agree with you more. It's definitely not a blimp. This thing is too small. It's too wide. And I looked very, very, very closely to see, is there a plane carrying a sign? Because if I did see a plane, it could be argued that it's one of those, signs in the sky. Now, is this a cigar-shaped, or because of our vantage point, is it possibly a triangle, or a rectangle, or a square? I think any of those could be argued. From what we're seeing, it looks like a long cigar shape to me. I think it's...
Hey, Dr. J, sorry, I'm just coming in with more footage. We got only about 20 minutes in tonight's episode. Let's roll the next one. We're going to get to it. The footage just comes in really quickly to Third Phase of Moon, and we want to get it out as fast as possible. Some kind of illuminated object underneath the surface of the ocean. Is this some kind of USO, or are we looking at something organic? This is kind of crazy stuff. Brent, where'd you find this?
Yeah, there's some history on this. It's a cruise ship out in Venezuela, and apparently there's a bunch of people that spotted something right off deck. And it's pretty interesting. We're seeing this plasmic, maybe organic, lifelike creature, sea creature underneath the surface of the water. Well, that's the big question we're all asking right now. It almost reminds me of the movie The Abyss. We've seen these bioluminescent creatures that live deep beneath the sea. Do we see these on the surface? That's a big question.
Abyss definitely comes to mind when I look at this. And, there's so much at the bottom of the ocean. I mean, I think they say that, there's so much unexplored parts of the ocean that it's really incredible, because we're already out exploring outer space, and there's so much at the bottom of the ocean that we don't even know about. And it could be some bioluminescent creature, it could come from another planet and end up in our ocean. Who knows?
Yeah, apparently it's even harder to traverse our own waters on our own planet than it is outer space. Dr. J, you're looking at this again. We've been talking biological tonight. What's your thoughts on this?
USO activity, definitely. In Shag Harbor, when something had crashed in the water, there was actual people that witnessed beings going from one craft to the other to repair it. So if we're seeing something biological, maybe that's what we're seeing. Is there a USO in distress, and maybe something else came into the frame to assist it? This is definitely fascinating, especially because of the blue light. And if you look within the blue light, it looks like a white light craft is traveling from left to right.
What's interesting, there are people aboard this ship. It seems that there's multiple witnesses. They have their iPhones out. They're filming this. So I want to get the people that were aboard that, if they could come forward and have some testimony, because what we're looking here is something that is extraordinary. If this indeed is some kind of life form, again, The Abyss does come to mind. It's a movie, but I got a feeling there's so much undiscovered life forms that we have yet to reveal. Are we looking at something that is for the first time seen by human eyes here? This is extraordinary stuff.
Could be, again, a submersible, maybe something man-made, creating this light, and it's just about to surface. But this is in the middle of the ocean. It's that's what the eyewitnesses were saying. There's nothing out there that should be creating this kind of effect. So it's pretty crazy on what we're looking at here. Dr. J, your last words on this one.
Again, this one definitely, I still think, is possibly a USO. But what if it is like a United States military test of some sort, of some new technology? Either way, as Blake said, there's a bunch of people that are heard in the recording excited. I'm hoping someone with better footage comes forward to Third Phase of Moon and brings that footage and says what they saw, because what they have seen with the naked eye might be better than what they captured on film.
Absolutely, Dr. J. And don't forget, my email is in the description. Like I said, we've got a lot of UFOs for you tonight, so don't go anywhere. We're going to roll you the next data that has come in, the videos from around the world. Let's roll it. Hit that thumbs up.
This is another super incredible video. This is a typical flying saucer dome-shaped craft with what appears to have a larger dome than usual and some large energy bubble or a circular flame underneath. And on top of that, this is what's crazy. If you look to the right, there's a very conspicuous pink cloud in a circular shape. I thought that's very interesting. What do you guys think? What break?
You know, the acorn shape is coming to the characteristics of whatever it looks like. I'm not exactly sure. It's just kind of strange. It's not a Chinese lantern. And again, you bring up this energy source from underneath this craft. Is that the propulsion behind it?
Yeah, Blake, you're looking at this thing. The close-up really kind of blows your mind. You see it, and you see this huge bulbous orange orb right at the bottom of the craft. And it does look like a UFO. It looks like a disc with this oversized orb right underneath this craft. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe it's some sort of plasma technology. I mean, it looks pretty large to me in comparison to the mountains here. And, I'm wondering if there's some sort of technology that may be like plasma in nature that's causing it to light up underneath the craft. As Brent said, it kind of looks like a flying saucer with this orb under it. So, I mean, it's definitely a very interesting footage.
When you look at this, I'm not seeing any kind of manipulation. And again, we're looking at this video. It's over a populated city. So again, we're urging more people to come out and share their footage. Dr. J, quickly, before we get to the next video, last words on this one.
The interesting thing about this is, again, what you see underneath of it. Is it the propulsion, or is it an orb that possibly docked with it? Or a third possibility, is this craft in distress?
That's interesting to bring up that fact that could there be some kind of maybe something faulty going on, some kind of drone on fire. Again, I'm not exactly sure. Dr. J brought it up. Is this where the crash retrievals come from? All I know, we've got some crazy UFO videos in tonight's episode, and we've got more for you right now. Buckle up. Take a look at this, guys. The spike is back. Look at this still photo. Multiple angles coming in. And the sharp edges on this craft really makes me believe that this isn't some kind of manufactured balloon or anything that I've seen. This seems metallic, and the edges, it looks straight up like it is defying the laws of physics and how it's staying up there. It's weird.
Yeah, looking at this, again, this came from Mexico, that region, Latin America. These guys, are they getting that sophisticated to create these kind of exotic balloons, very large, that are just up there in the sky with these pointed edges? We don't see this in America. That's what I like. These are coming out of the region. Is there experimental technology in that place of the planet creating something that we're not familiar with?
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of these kind of craft coming out of Mexico, a lot of videos of this sort of craft, but usually they kind of have more spikes coming out of them than the ones that I see. And, obviously Mexico is known for their piñatas, so, I mean, who knows, maybe it's a piñata balloon or something, but definitely something that seems to happen quite often in Mexico. What are your thoughts on this, Dr. J?
I thought, first of all, I don't think this is a balloon. I looked closely for that because that was my first assumption. It is very small. If you look at the tree as the reference, it's got one spike on top, and exactly equidistant is a star-shaped spikes going horizontally. On the bottom is, flat and blunt. Is this possibly a DARPA drone, or is it something that's non-terrestrial? But it's not very aerodynamic. Let me say that as well. And with Mexico, we get so much more footage because they all believe maybe this is a regular day occurrence for them. And what better place than for DARPA or the United States to test secret technology than places like Mexico, where everyone believes it's ET.
Yeah, good call there, Dr. J. And again, this discussion about the UFO phenomenon continues on a daily basis. So if anybody out there has captured anything amazing, don't hesitate to submit it to us right here at Third Phase of Moon. My email is in the contact in the description below. That's where you can find us. Submit the footage. Everybody, be safe. We'll see you next time.
Over and out.
We'll catch you next time.
10-4.